on today's show, we have a new report from ESPN on Rashod Bateman and the expectations for the Ravens wide receiver entering his fourth season in the National Football League. We will let you hear what folks like Mark Andrews, John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, and others had to say of what they think about Bateman and the progress he's making towards this season in 2024. We'll discuss all that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. All month long, we have a challenge here on the program as our friends over at the Steelers Talk channel, that would be Jack Sperry and company, our enemies over there, they have challenged us to a comment battle to see which channel can get the most comments over the month of July. So, without further ado, let's get this thing started. I need at least 100 R's in the chat for your Baltimore Ravens. Let your voices be heard loud and clear. I want to win this battle. Let's start with the right tone right here, right now. Spam R, and we'll get started with today's show. Bateman 2024. The campaign is on for the Ravens wide receiver as expectations are high, according to a new report from ESPN detailing just how people feel within the organization, from the front office to the coaching staff to his teammates. Everyone is on the same page that this is going to be the breakout season the Baltimore Ravens have been waiting for Rashod Bateman, and they are going to need it badly from him in 2024. Let's start with this from Jamison Hensley of ESPN, and here's what he said. What Bateman has received from Baltimore is surprising stability and unrelenting support. He has been given more praise than arguably anyone else on the team. He's had a standout spring, making memorable catches nearly every practice. Here is what they are saying around the organization, starting with his teammate Mark Andrews. Andrews said Bateman looks incredible, a big year ahead. His head coach, John Harbaugh, said that he's going to take a big step in 2024. While general manager Eric DeCosta, who drafted him in the first round in 2021, said that the best football for Rashod Bateman is still ahead of him. And then one of his newest teammates, Nate Wiggins, who's on the defensive side of the ball, said that he has been the toughest player to cover of any of the Ravens receivers, that he's shifty and has a lot of quickness in the route. The confidence in Bateman comes from him having his first healthy offseason of his entire career in Baltimore. This is the first one where Bateman is at full strength for the entirety of the offseason. And the other half of that equation of where this confidence comes from is a newfound peace of mind that we're seeing from Rashod Bateman and those around him. The confidence is there that wasn't there before. They see that he's putting in the work to be great, and the health factor, those two things coming together is why you're seeing people within the organization buy in to what Rashod Bateman is selling. More on Rashod Bateman in a moment, but first, let's ask you, our pinned comment today, do you believe in Rashod Bateman? Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. So, let's go over what the assignment is for Rashod Bateman in 2024. Will he understand the assignment, as the kids say? I have put together the Master Bateman plan for Rashod in 2024, and the first goal for him is to stay healthy. That has been a problem throughout much of his career. That's the biggest thing that's held him back, has been his health. He needs to continue to stay healthy, do whatever it takes. Number two, he needs to grow with chemistry with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. We've seen where these two haven't necessarily always been on the same page. We know Lamar's got natural chemistry with Mark Andrews. We saw it with Zay Flowers throughout the year. We've seen it with Isaiah Likely. But he and Rashod Bateman have never necessarily been on that same page. That's got to change, and a lot of that falls on Rashod Bateman's shoulders to get into what Lamar Jackson offers. The other thing, a part of this Master Bateman plan, is being consistent. there are times where Rashod Bateman is going to have to go find the football himself, where he is going to have to make that extra effort to go get open, or when the play breaks down, to find himself in that position to succeed. If he does these three things, if he follows the master Bateman plan, then I think he's in for a very successful season in 2024. More from Jamison Hensley of ESPN on Bateman. There have been questions as to whether Bateman and Jackson lack chemistry. It seems like both are rarely healthy at the same time. They've played a total of 28 games together in Bateman's 3 seasons. With Jackson as quarterback, Bateman has 3 times as many drops, 9, as touchdown catches, 3. So you can see that's a big deal there. Look, he doesn't have to be Lamar Jackson's favorite target here. We understand if Lamar feels a better chemistry with Zay Flowers or Mark Andrews, that's fine. But he has to be an option for Lamar Jackson. He still has to be a guy that he can trust and depend on. They need to be clicking together, and I think that mostly falls on Bateman because Lamar's track record speaks for itself. Lamar's got guys he can connect with that he's been on the same page with. I think this is more about Bateman doing what's asked of him, what Lamar needs from him to make this relationship work. Bateman, we mentioned, a former first-round pick out of Minnesota back in 2021. He's got a new contract, which he said he was surprised by. Remember, he's not eligible for a fifth-year option after missing part of training camp last year. And so with that, they went ahead and extended him, gave him a 3-year, $15 million extension that locks him up with the Baltimore Ravens through 2026. And you can see he's played in 34 games in his career with 21 starts, including 12 starts in 2023. I personally think the extension was brilliant. While the Ravens have high hopes and would like to see him get 800-plus yards, with what they're paying him at just $5 million a year for the next 3 years, you could sit here and say, hey, even if he doesn't meet that standard of 800-plus yards, you're still potentially getting your bang for your buck if he can put up similar numbers to what he did his rookie campaign when he had 515 yards, 46 catches, and 12 games played. You can see that there has been some fall off since then. But at the end of last year, and we'll have more on this when we let you hear from Todd Monken here in just a bit, that's when the Ravens could start to see something change, an adjustment of sorts. He was a different player towards the end of last year, giving the Ravens confidence that he can do the job going forward. Let's ask you about the extension that he got. Do you like the extension? Type Y for yes, N for no. Way in the comment section, let us know what you think. We mentioned Nate Wiggins earlier. We got his jerseys on sale now, just in time for the NFL season. You can get yours today at chatsports.com/Wiggins. Trade out that 1 for the 2. We got the purple jerseys, got the white jerseys, got the black jerseys, got men's and women's options, all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Go see for yourself, chatsports.com/Wiggins. Free shipping available as well. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Now, we mentioned that there is pressure on Rashod Bateman to succeed as he takes on this number 2 receiver role as he enters his 4th year in the National Football League. I'll say this, to his credit, he's not shying away from this. The stage at the moment does not look too big for Rashod Bateman. He's embracing this chance that he's being presented by the Baltimore Ravens. And when we hear from more people in the building, Ravens wide receiver coach Greg Lewis had this to say about Rashod Bateman. The ball just hasn't found him in situations. He comes out here every day and shows what he's capable of doing, whether it's in practice or games. When he gets his opportunities in the game, he does that. It's just about getting more and more opportunities, and then more and more production will come from him. But Greg Lewis isn't the only offensive staffer that is sold on Rashod Bateman, that believes he can get the job done. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken, in his 2nd season with the Baltimore Ravens, he believes in Rashod Bateman and alluded to the fact of what we saw from Bateman towards the end of 2023. Listen to this from Rashod Bateman, what he had to say about Todd Monken, and then we'll show you in a moment what Todd Monken had to say about Rashod Bateman. I'm not worried about how many balls I get. I'm not worried about if Todd Monken calls the plays for me. The only thing I can control, man, is what I can control, and that's getting open when I can and blocking when I can. I don't play quarterback. I'm not the OC. I'm not the O-line. So anything else outside of that, I'm just here. I'm going to help this team out the best way possible. But other than that, maybe that's a question for them. As the year went on, Rashod really came on, and I've seen tremendous growth. But again, it's growth just because he didn't have an offseason last year. In my mind, I didn't see that. But I expect a tremendous year from him, from Todd Monken there. So it's all about putting it together, right? The time for excuses here at this point, folks, is simply over. It's put up or shut up time for Rashod Bateman heading into 2024. And what Todd Monken has in mind for Rashod Bateman is big goals. They're going all out, guns a-blazing with Rashod Bateman for what they believe that he can do and the role that he'll play in this system. In their depth chart here, as you can see, Bateman expected to be on the outside with Zay Flowers on the other side and Nelson Aguilar in the slot there. And beyond that, you just don't have a ton of options, right? You bring in Tez Walker as a fourth-round rookie. You bring in Deontay Hardy, who's more of a special teams guy. Malik Cunningham is still learning the position, transitioning from the quarterback spot to the wide receiver position. Rashod Bateman's got to figure it out. I mean, as the saying goes, he's either got to shit or get off the pot, you know. And with Rashod Bateman, all signs point to that he should have a big year in 2024. But we'll see what happens at this point in time. I think that this is Rashod Bateman's time to shine, but let's actually see it with our own eyes here going forward. This wide receiver group, no OBJ involved. What's your confidence level in this group heading into 2024? Scale it for me 1 through 10. I think this is a good group, not a great group. I would still like to add one more receiver. I'm going to go with about a 7. What do you guys think? Scale it for me 1 through 10. Let us know, and we'll see you next time here on Ravens Rundown.